how to get you off the diet roller coaster for good. Now, there's a story. It involves an ant and a grasshopper, like every wholesome story does. So there's this beautiful field full of grass, and one day, one hot summer's day, an ant is scrounging around, running around, putting food in his nest. He's going out, working hard, picking up food, bringing it all the way back, stocking up his nest. And as he goes back and forth, finding food, back and forth between the food and his nest, he passes this grasshopper. And this grasshopper, it's his friend. He's hanging out and he's kind of just sunbathing. He's enjoying the warm weather. And as the ant passes this grasshopper, the grasshopper says, "Hey, ant, why don't you take a break? Why don't you come enjoy the sun with me? Just take a break. You know, winter's not coming for a while. Just enjoy." And the ant says, "Nope, I can't. I gotta prepare now. I can do the sun tomorrow." And you know, days and days pass by like this, where the ant's still preparing food, finding what it can, and the grasshopper is just enjoying the present moment, enjoying the sunshine, not worrying about the future. And then, you know, the warm months turned cool, the cool months turned cold, and there the grasshopper is. He has no food. He's not prepared. So he goes over to the ant's house and he says, "Ant, please, do you have some food to spare? I'm out. I have nothing. I'm not prepared." And the ant says, "Well, no, grasshopper, I don't. I told you should have been prepared. And now you have to deal with the consequences." And so the cold grasshopper starves. You see, winter always comes. Winter always comes, even when it feels like it won't, even when it feels like it's far away. It always comes. And see, the ant knew this, and the ant was prepared. So the ant, when winter came, he could enjoy. He didn't have to stress. He was ready. He was prepared. But the grasshopper chose to get those feelings immediately in the present, and he sacrificed those feelings in the future. And it was his downfall, a big downfall. And this story resonates so closely with me because I remember when I would try to lose weight and I would actually get on a roll, like I'd lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, and I was feeling good, I would almost get cocky. Like I'd forget that I had failed and falled off so many times, and I'd forget that I had all these old bad habits that always creep up, and I forgot how quickly things can change and temptation can take over and one bite can turn into 10 bites. Like I just forget for some reason, like all the struggles that I had because I was seeing so much results and I was feeling so good, and I would be cocky. And so I would, let's say I was losing weight because I had a vacation coming up, a family vacation coming up. I would lose weight for the vacation. But then as soon as I went to the vacation and I had the all-you-can-eat buffet, well, guess what? By the time I was back from vacation, I had gained all the weight back that I had lost for vacation. Or I had one of my friends' weddings coming up, and I would lose the weight to look good in the wedding pictures, and I could do it. And then all of a sudden, you know, that night when the dessert came out, I would go crazy. And then within a couple weeks, again, I gained all the weight back. Or I'd go out to a restaurant, and that would be my trigger. I'd order, you know, an appetizer, an entree, desserts, and drinks. And it would throw me off, throw me into a spiral, and I would gain the weight back. And so there seemed to be this trend of when I was on a weight loss roll, I'd get cocky and I'd let my guard down. And I forgot that winter is coming, that temptation is always there, and that something is going to test me, and it's only a matter of when. And if I'm not prepared for when that happens, I'm going to fail that test. And that is what happened. Again and again and again, I failed every test that was thrown at me because I forgot that there's going to be a test. I thought that I passed the test by getting started and seeing some results. I forgot that that wasn't the test at all. That was where I should have been studying for the test. But the good news is, going forward, you're going to be tested as well. But I don't expect you to ace your tests. I don't expect you in the face of temptation to say, "No, never again. I never want to eat pizza and donuts again." Like, first of all, that sounds like a horrible life. I don't want to live in a world where I can't enjoy my donuts and pizza and cookies. Cookies are my downfall. But not only do you not have to ace the test, I'm only like expecting like a C plus, B minus. Just be better. I call it being 1% better than you were last time. If, dinner and drinks with the girlfriends, if that's what throws you off, just remember the last time you had drinks with them and be 1% better than that time. Not 1,000% better, not 100% better. Just a little bit. And over time, it builds up, and within a year, you don't even recognize yourself. And your habits are completely changed, and you're not a slave to them anymore. Because if you think about, a Kung Fu master, how many kicks does one Kung Fu master have to do to be considered a master at that kick? 10? Obviously not. 100? Still not enough. 10,000? Debatable. Probably tens of thousands of kicks to master one move. And therefore, have you put tens of thousands of reps into becoming the healthiest version of you and losing that weight? Have you done that? Probably not. And so it is illogical. It is irrational for you to think that you should be a master of your body already, considering the amount of reps that you put in. But that's also comforting because it makes sense as to where I am because of what I've done, right? Or what I haven't done yet. I haven't put in enough reps to become a master at my body. And that's okay. So the answer is always put in more reps, not stop and give up. It doesn't make sense for you to be perfect because you haven't put in the reps. You are not a Kung Fu master of your weight loss yet. And it's so funny because when a Kung Fu or when a person embarks on the journey to become a Kung Fu master, they're a beginner when they start. And they don't practice Kung Fu for a month, take a break, come back 6 months later, take a break, come back 2 months later, take a break for a week. They start that journey and they never stop. Because if you stop, when you restart, you're starting from zero. You don't get to put in 100 kicks this month, pause for a month, and then throw in another 100 kicks and we're at 200 kicks? No, we're starting again from zero. And do you see why it's been so hard for you to see progress and build momentum? Because every time you start and stop, you have to start over. You're losing all the progress. You're losing what you learned. It's just physics. The law of inertia. Objects in motion want to stay in motion. Objects at rest want to stay at rest. If you stay at rest, you'll want to continue to stay at rest. If you stay in motion, it's much easier to continue in motion. Keep up inertia, keep up momentum. It's the difference between pushing a rock uphill versus pushing a rock downhill. If you stop and start, you're always pushing that rock uphill. If you never stop, the rock rolls downhill. Don't you want that to be your weight loss journey? Building up a momentum, it gets faster and faster the longer it's been rolling downhill. And so I challenge you to now become a master, the Kung Fu master of your weight loss journey, and put in rep after rep after rep. The challenge is so cool because this is where you get to prepare for winter. But a 2-week challenge is not enough to prepare you, right? Especially if we're trying to become a master. Tens of thousands of reps still left. I mean, the challenge is step A, right? So awesome. We know what we have to do first to get the momentum, to start on the journey to being a Kung Fu master, to prepare for that winter like the ant did. This is the start. But if we stop preparing, we have to start from zero after the challenge again, right? So we can't be doing that. So it's not enough to just have plan A. The challenge is plan A. What is plan B? What is step 2? Right? We had step 1, we started. What's step 2 after? So many women fall off their weight loss journey, never hit the goal that they want to see, never see the number on the scale they want to see ever again. It's always just a dream. Just stays a dream in the ether. Because they never had a step 2. They always ever just started. I want to start and lose weight. Then they started and lose weight, and when they lost some weight, they didn't know what to do next. And so you need to already be thinking about that because winter is around the corner. Temptation is around the corner. Real life is around the corner. It doesn't matter how good you are and how easy it is and how much weight you can lose when you just take time and focus on it when it's convenient. That doesn't matter. What counts is how much weight can you lose, how dedicated can you stay, how focused can you remain when life gets challenging, when it's inconvenient to be healthy, when other people are challenging you, when you are challenging yourself. That is when it really, really counts. Because if we stop during those times and we wait till it's convenient again, we are starting from zero all over again. And we already know that that's not an option. That's frustrating. That makes you want to literally pull your hair out and bang your head against the wall. And that's what happened to me every time I had to restart. I was starting from zero. It almost felt like I was starting backwards, actually, because I always seemed to gain even more weight after I stopped the diet because it was so restrictive and I couldn't eat the foods that I want. It was basically like, to lose weight, you can't have any fun, apparently, right? That's how I used to think. Not anymore. But I'd lose 20 pounds and I'd gain 30 back. And I'd be it's like I'm reversing any progress and then even putting myself in a worse position. And so we have to realize that winter is coming. Do not get cocky.